Okay, Eric, let's talk keys to getting a big, comfortable win where at halftime fans are in a good mood, where people watching at home are able to throw the Oregon game on the second TV or screen if they so choose. Or shout is really fun rather than, oh, we're sweating more than we want to right now. I think you can go a lot of different directions, as you always can with keys to the game. I'll let you start. Two or three that you say, if Oregon does this and this, yeah, this won't be close.
I'll piggyback off what I talked about earlier and what Dan said, which is just trench play, line of scrimmage, dominate there, establish the run early. One thing, a point of curiosity for me is Noah Whittington's availability or role. Dan was pretty non-committal earlier in the week. And I bring that up because he was the tone setter in the first two games, right? 35 yards, first play from scrimmage. Next game against Oklahoma State, I think second play from scrimmage, 59-yard touchdown. Just a shot like that early, right? And if he's not available, can Jaden be the one to deliver it? Do they have to go to the pass game, right? Like, what does that initial kind of punch look like? But I think establishing that run, that run game, that line of scrimmage on both sides is pivotal. And just speaking on the other side of the ball, like, again, this is not an Oregon State run offense that has really much of anything to write home about. Like I put it, in the story I just wrote, like in that 2022 game, Oregon State ran for 268 yards through 3 weeks. They've run for 213 this season, right? Like that sort of gives you the sense of like just the difference of like where this program has been. So to me, that's crucial. And then I guess just for Dante, it's like, and again, we're back to nitpicking, but his last pass attempt in Northwestern, I don't make a whole bunch of it. I get it. Wind was really blowing that in there, but it was a disappointing result. It was his first turnover in 2 years. Like, how does he bounce back? I'm not really worried about it, but just like, where's he at? How does he look? What's going on with the receiving core? There's some questions going into the week here. Like, there's been some, I don't know if you talked about it much on your show. We've talked about it in ours, but rumblings about DeCorian's health. It seems like that's been smoothed over. Justice Lowe didn't play at Northwestern. I still don't know. So how does he look with a receiving room that maybe is a little bit different is something that's on my mind. And then I guess I'm just curious to see, like, can this defensive line like flex like they should on pass downs too? Because off the edge, I was just pulling up the PFF data. The two Oregon State starting tackles have pass blocking grades of like 45
it's
and
bad.
55, which is like as bad as you're going to see all season probably. They've been pressuring Murphy all the time. Like,
yeah.
Just like, can they even – Oregon should be able to just – like Mateo and Tatum should both have a lot of success early. The guys coming off the bench should frankly have some success.
Well, it's crazy. I guess not totally crazy, but it's really representative of how sharp and steep the decline has been for Oregon State. They've got two tackles playing in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Fuaga was a first-round pick. And I don't remember where Josh Gray got drafted, but like those were guys. Those were and now it is not only not at that level, it's the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. And in 2023, with a much better Oregon State team and a defensive line that I don't think was quite as good as the one Oregon's putting on the field on Saturday, they were missing both their tackles in that game. And Oregon State got dominated 31-7. And that was a good Oregon State team. And you go into this game, the starters are probably backups on that team, and now you've got a better Oregon defensive line. You hit a couple of the keys that I was going to get to. Number one was run the ball. I think for any offense, but this Oregon one's no exception. Running the ball makes your passing attack a lot more lethal. The play action shots, if you have to bring an extra safety down into the box and that leaves more one-on-one shots for DeCorian and Malik Benson. Good luck. Good luck. Pressure in the quarterback, I think, can lead to a turnover. And then there has to be, I think, a key out there of Oregon, don't shoot yourselves in the foot. Like, if you don't make any mistakes, you're winning the game. And Oregon is just off a game in which they've committed 0 penalties for the first time since 2000. Over 2 decades, almost as long as I have been alive. It has been since the last time Oregon did that.
And I think talking with Oregon's SID, I don't know if they know that's actually the 2000 season that happened last. I think that was as far as their data went back or something. And like it may have been more, is my point.
Yeah, even better. that makes it all the more impressive. I did want to talk about your thoughts on some early season surprises. I got a question that Admittedly, my bad, guys. Forgot to get to yesterday about red shirts. And someone asked who a surprise red shirt this season would be. We haven't played 4 games yet. This will be game number 4. So basically asking who doesn't play this week or who plays this week and then doesn't enter into the game again until postseason play. Can I throw Naeem Offord out there, who is an incredibly talented guy? And again, this is me guessing. This is not me saying, oh, yeah, I heard they're going to redshirt. No, incredibly talented guy. Of the young defensive backs, he has made more mistakes than the other ones.
Yeah.
So, if you're talking who would be a surprise redshirt, I think more likely than not, yeah, he keeps seeing the field. But a surprise redshirt, I could see Offord being that guy. He's had some solid moments, but he's had 2 moments in particular that were straight up really, really bad. He blew a coverage and he got beat down the field and just wasn't as on balance as he needed to be to make a play on the ball. So
slipped, I think, slippery surface there.
That also might have been a part of it. So that'd be a surprise thing, but I think it's entirely possible. Is there anything else about this team that you think has surprised you or will surprise you going forward?
One thing, just to toss this out here, I just pulled up my story. There were 9 true freshmen who've played in all 3 games. I'm assuming all 9 of them probably end up playing at least 5 regular season games. And just the list is Jordan Davison, De'Aaron Hill, DeCorian Moore, Cooper Perry, who's low key been a surprise, but I think that maybe his numbers related. Yeah. He's playing early and often out of the slot. He's basically their number 2 slot right now. Matthew Johnson, Nasir Wyatt, Gavin Nix, Brandon Finney, Naeem Offord. I guess Wyatt or Johnson are guys who are getting in late and playing. So maybe those are candidates for what you're talking about.
I love Nasir Wyatt.
Oh yeah. Well, we were talking about him down in Vegas already.
He's awesome, man. He looks the part.
Yeah, for sure.
He looks the part.
There's a lot of things you could point to that are surprises. When somebody asked us on our mailbag show, I think it was this last week. The weeks run together at this point. But positive and negatives, and it looks like with the garbage man's outside. So apologies for bad audio here.
You're fine.
That'll happen. But no, I think offensively, Malik Benson was a guy that I remember the 2 of us talking, I think down in Vegas about him, and neither of us really knew what to do with them. I remember telling you his JUCO film was nasty, but also his 2 years playing Power 4 football didn't really inspire much confidence. In the spring game, such small sample size, didn't watch any really spring practice. He drops the one memory is he drops a long pass that would have been probably a touchdown. So didn't know what to do with him. He's Oregon's leader in all the receiving stats. I'm not saying he's their number 1, but he looks like he belongs opposite of DeCorian, and he certainly has the speed to stretch the field. So that's one I didn't necessarily think. For some reason, I was Justice Lowe is going to be in that role more than likely.
Well, my thing with Benson coming into the year is I feel like anything you get from him is a plus. Oregon's receiver room doesn't need him to be good or great in order to be a productive unit. But if he winds up being a guy, okay, awesome. He's part of the rotation. And I think we've got a pretty clear answer on that. He's, as long as he's healthy the rest of the year, going to be a part of the rotation. He looks good. Yeah. And you mentioned earlier the corner route that Dante threw to him. That's an insane throw, man.
Yeah.
That is a crazy good throw.
And another offensive thing that's not one player is just the consistency and the physicality of the skill guys as blockers. I know that was a big story first 2 weeks, but young team, I think this is so over stereotyped and used, but highly rated recruits, are they prima donnas? Do they want to block? People didn't really know what to make of these guys, and they came out and really sent a message early. I can't remember where I heard this, but somebody said something it's tough when and this is after the Oklahoma State game watching the film. It's tough when you're the less talented team and you're also getting outworked. And that's what it looks like when you watch the offense is Oregon has all these really high end players, a lot of NFL talent, and they just work their asses off. So that whether it's Kenyon, whether it's DeCorian, whether it's Gary, Benson hasn't been quite as pronounced as a blocker. Jaden Lamar can be in his own little category, at least as a kind of a utility offensive weapon with all the things he does as a blocker. And there's just some questions I have about I don't know if you want to lean on him to be a primary running back in a big game. I don't think he looked particularly adept even last week against Northwestern. So there's concerns there, but he's somebody that's impressed me. Defensively, I'm surprised that they've started and stuck with that many freshmen. that they're starting two.
Yeah, Finney and Iffy are out there, and you're going, are we about to watch these guys start 35 to 40 games combined over the next couple of seasons? And, Theron Johnson has been hurt in and out of the lineup, and you look up, and even when Theron played last week against Northwestern, which he did, pretty sure he got out-snapped by Iffy and Finney. And
Offord, all three.
But yeah, I like those guys are making a big impact. I like the secondary call out there. I think they get a solid test this week. But again, it's another unit that you can point to. Literally any of them for Oregon. We don't know everything until Penn State. That'll be the best receiving core they face. That'll be the best quarterback they face. It'll be the best offensive line, defense. Everything will be the best next week. Let's wrap real quick, Erik. Score predictions. I've got Oregon 40. I want to make sure I don't cross up my prediction here. I've got Oregon winning 48-10.
We have the same margin. I got 52-14. So, yeah.
Yeah, I hope this game gets to have a different feel by the time it comes back in 2027. So, hope you all enjoy the final Civil War until 2027. That's the plan. We'll see how that gets executed. Erik Skopil, Duck Territory. Great as always, my man. Thanks for hopping by. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. Until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Ducks.